your boy G-Man and welcome to a new creation. This zoo is called Northern Hills Zoo, a relatively small zoo. I'm I'm gonna try building as many zoos as I can that are small like this, with like up to at least like maybe 10 animals. But the thing is, I'm trying to do this because Planet Zoo 2 is on its way, and I haven't really built for a lot of animals. I've only built 2 finished zoos, 3 if you include franchise mode, but well, anyway, let's get into it. So, today we are going to be building for a special animal today. And as you can see, it's the red-round crane. You see, these animals are very, very cool birds. They are really beautiful looking, and they also live in pretty large flocks, up to 79 males and 79 females in a habitat. And the guests can enter the habitat, so I made a walkthrough habitat for these guys. And I already made some water and mainly the layout of some of the zoo. So let's get into this project. I'm very excited. So let's start off by saying, let's add actual staff to this zoo, like caretakers, keepers, security guards, vets, and well, that's all we'll really need for now. Soon we will need work zones and educators and stuff like that. But anyway, time for the fun part, which is actually getting the animals and building the habitat. So let's do this. Anyway, first we need to actually get the red-round crane, which I believe they should be around here soon. And here they are. My goal is to get like 1 male and maybe 3 or 2 females. So first, I forgot almost first that you actually have to place a habitat door. So I first decided to place a habitat door down, and after I did that, my next thing I needed to actually do was get the animal, because I almost actually forgot it. Well, I actually did. So I couldn't deliver my animal. And I was very confused in that moment. But anyway, I did eventually figure it out. Next, I needed to figure out what I wanted to do for the water. I had a very clear plan to make the water look like this lush type, while still keeping it a small smidge basic, while making it look very, very lush. I was very excited for my guests to actually interact with these animals. They're probably one of my favorite things to interact with. And, well, just wait till we get to the enrichment part of this habitat. I really love seeing red-round cranes in such a healthy state. As a matter of fact, they're probably one of, if not the favorite bird in my thing, at least. But there's one thing I really hope they do. I really, really hope that they actually add the same red-round crane in Planet Zoo 2. And the style of what the red-round crane looks like right now is, like, it could use some work. And luckily, Planet Zoo 2 is introducing us to new styles and vibes of what different things look like. So now there will be like new stuff like Siberian tiger that'll look way more different now, plus more. And I don't know if anybody really actually watched my Planet Zoo 2 news and more video, Probably should go watch it. And I did mention I would start game developing in that video. I wasn't actually lying. I'm actually being true about that one. I remember I did say that, and I knew I would, because I wanted to start a game that was actually the same thing as Planet Zoo, but obviously I'd get copyrighted, so I'd have to think of other perks and stuff. And I researched and I kept modeling and doing all that stuff. I haven't actually worked on the game yet, so I haven't modeled. But don't worry, I will start modeling very, very soon. Right after this video is done as a matter of fact. I will definitely be working on it. Now, why I decided to actually build this time is because honestly, I've always wanted to make one of those channels where they have these things where they actually play and build. I obviously don't know how to make this speed fast, so this will look very slow, and what I mean by slow, I mean by actual normal speed. So next I decided to add some grass around the area. And, well, I'm probably going to try adding it around every nook and corner that doesn't have any grass. And I'm going to try making this as natural as I possibly can. I did eventually realize that this did look a bit deep for the red round crane, but honestly, they know how to swim though, so yeah. Now this animal is probably one of my favorite birds, as I mentioned. Well, why is it actually? Because I actually build it, well, a lot for habitats because of how beginner friendly this animal is. Most animals in this game are more beginner friendly. So, yeah. Most of them are pretty beginner friendly. But there's another thing I have heard of for Planet Zoo 2, which is actually the new building features with paths, fountains, and temperature climates, all of that stuff. I am so excited for Planet Zoo 2. I mean, every single Planet Zoo fan should pretty much be excited. It is a pretty big deal. And so these pine trees in the main game I'm usually going to be using in this zoo. You will see it a lot in this project. And for these birds, that is no exception. I'm still definitely going to be using these trees because technically they do live in Russia, which is close enough to North America to where I can actually make it in this zoo. I tried adding another lake, but then I realized maybe it's a bit too small for the habitat to actually support it. So I just decided to do this instead, which is fine by me. Now another thing I was originally going to add was an education center. Because, well, education is important for not only you, but also our guests at the zoo. Well, necessarily, it isn't important because they technically are AI, so they aren't really actually that. But either ways, I was thinking of making a zoo simulator game inspired by this, as I've mentioned, what feels like a million times in this video. So today, I decided to tell you because, well, most people didn't really look at my videos, specifically my video where I actually announced it. So I decided to announce it on this instead. Either ways, the next thing I decided to add was a few rocks, because rocks make everything better, if I'm being honest. It's probably one of the most powerful tools you could probably ever use in your builds. So when you feel like your build is not covered in any plants, even though it probably might be, make sure to add rocks. Make sure to add rocks. I really recommend it. It makes your zoo just look amazing. Rocks are your friend, as most people say, and, well, what do I say that? What do I say to that? That they're right, okay? Now, one of my favorite Planet Zoo YouTubers is Caesar Creates. I've always dreamed of being a YouTuber and creating my zoo projects and doing this and that with my zoo projects and all that. He's my favorite Planet Zoo YouTuber. He inspired me to do all this, and honestly, he's probably gotta be one of the best builders with his Elm Hill City Zoo. It's just my favorite series. I watch it all the time. I watched it back then so much so that I caught up all the way to his Japanese raccoon dog episode before I just mysteriously didn't watch him for a while. And then I watched that, then I watched the Komodo dragon one. Honestly, my favorite animal, one of my favorite, well, my definite favorite animal, is actually the elephant, but Komodo dragons have got to be like fifth, because honestly, these things are so fascinating. Like, they look a bit weird and satisfying, and as most people who really are interested in animals, most people at a young age really like alligators or crocodiles. When they, like in the future, they usually like animals. Because I really was one of those kids who loved, well, to this day I am a kid, to one of those, I always loved crocodiles. They were these huge, big lizard dinosaurs. They were like mythical to me back then. Honestly, probably one of my favorite things to ever toy around with, honestly. Probably, definitely, the absolute best time of my life when I discovered these things. I was so fascinated in them. I looked at pictures, I imagined them in my stories and thoughts. They're always so good. Such amazing animals to have in your zoos and Planet Zoo. Believe me when I say that too, because honestly, without animals, I probably wouldn't have anything fun to do with Planet Zoo. Well, in general, without Planet Zoo itself, because, well, it's just an amazing game with an amazing community. Honestly, it probably has one of the best communities. There's no one to really stop you, because you just create whatever you want. I mean, you don't even have to create a realistic looking zoo like I do. Well, I don't really create entrance realistic type. I do that, but it's probably not my favorite thing, if you get what I mean. But either ways, it sure has been fun to see my channel grow. And Zoo Tours recently, it was one of my first videos to get over 50 views. And I finally just earned almost 20 subscribers. So our goal for this year is to try and get to 50. If we can get to 50 subscribers by the end of the year, which I don't care if we don't, because I'll still be happy. I'll be happier, if you get what I mean. Either way, it looks like this habitat is pretty much almost done. But this area looks bare, so let's cover it in a few plants. Now, if I knew how to cut parts of videos off or out, I would have probably cut some of this video out. But honestly, it wasn't the longest video. And I don't know why I'm already wrapping it up, because this habitat is a bit bare bones and, well, there's no guests. So let's actually fix that. I'm just going to really quickly do something that will make this zoo actually look like a zoo rather than just an animal cage, which is actually building the cages. Yeah. Don't know why I didn't do that from the start, honestly. Anyway, time to get some blueprints. So I built this rock formation. It's not actually uploaded to the workshop, but I probably should upload it to the workshop. It does actually look pretty cool. But honestly, it's not cool enough. So I got this blueprint from somebody else, and I just borrowed it, so I got this instead. And here I go, placing literally all of these rocks. This might take a minute. Alright, time to go. I've never actually really made those type of Twilight rocks, if you get what I mean. Like these big, ginormous clusters of rock all formed into like this big, ginormous Twilight thing. This Twilight cavern cave rock. It's probably one of the most popular and best strategies. I've never actually been able to see it. And that's actually my first time I ever actually started liking Caesar Creates. Like, obviously, I still liked him and all. Oh, wait, that's definitely off grid. Just gonna move you right over here. Just gonna make this wider area. And, well, yeah, after that I made some barriers, and I actually made them on like stealing them from other people because I didn't want to be that lazy and just steal everything from other people. So that's why I decided to make probably one of the most basic fences in the game, probably, which is actually just borrowing a fence from Frontier himself. And, well, just doing this. I'll just give you a full down blown tutorial of how you can create this fence. Just go to fences. Well, go to props, then go to fences. You'll see all these fences. Go to mesh, and you're done, pretty much. Also, make sure to color it like brown or something, like that. And, well, just select the 4-meter one and just start placing it in around your habitat. It is very easy. And this zoo is also probably a beginner-friendly zoo. For my 4th zoo, I'd say honestly this isn't what I was expecting, but the habitat is still honestly really good, so I'll take it. It's still a really good habitat overall. I think I did a pretty good job with the foliage in particular. I like spending time mainly on foliage. I don't really spend time on anything else other than looking at the animals' needs and all that. Now, the last thing we're going to do before we wrap up the video, well, second to last, is, well, first we'll have to place the guest spawners with the entrances, and then we will add enrichment for the red round crane so that they can actually do something other than swim and stare at each other, or do whatever the animals do. I have done research on some animals, and red round crane, I'll just tell you, is not one of them, so I don't really know a lot about them. Red round cranes are usually just called red round cranes because, well, oh, speedy swimmer, I guess, jeez. Red round cranes usually spend their time in water, and also, why they're called red round cranes is because they have a bit of red on, like, their beak. If you look at them a bit closely, you can see their redness on their beak, and it's probably one of the most popular things about them. And the animal I've been researching and trying to make in my game, my simulator, my zoo simulator, that's inspired by this is the brown trout. I've been researching about the brown trout. I'm adding aquariums, aviaries, wildlife reserves. Pretty much everything Planet Zoo 2 has, but like, I'm gonna add more customization. You'll see what I mean in a minute once the game actually releases, which isn't gonna be for like a week or two. I'm gonna start working on it like after once this video is actually uploaded. I'll actually start working on it. If not, when the video is in its progress, sort of, if you get what I mean. And there we go, that's the fence done. It's probably one of the most basic fences ever. And why? Because, well, you're gonna go through walkthroughs anyway. The guests don't have fears of, well, at least I hope you don't have fears of, like, red round cranes. They don't peck you, they don't really do anything to you. They're less dangerous and, well, yeah, they don't really do anything. To you, at least. They do stuff, but, like, not to you. Either ways, now that this habitat actually is starting to look way better than I thought it would after all that rock treatment, now it's time to do some enrichments. So, how I'm going to do this is just by this, look. So I'm just going to go to enrichment, press it, and there you go. That's literally all their enrichment right there. Well, all the enrichment that they'll actually play with. So I'm just going to add all of this stuff around. Not that bad, looking good. Well, I decided to cover it inside of buffalo grass because they will actually attempt to eat the scent marker, and honestly, since it doesn't look the best, I wanted to actually make it look like they're eating the actual grass. And well, I even added this cool waterfall thing, which honestly, I see a lot in this game. Like, every single big bird has one of these things, and I might have even maybe seen it in real life. And I'm also gonna eventually do other stuff like inspiration from other zoos. And well, after this, the video will pretty much be done. I'll just add the guest spawners and stuff off camera, since I don't really want to make like that long of a video. This video is already almost 30 minutes, probably one of my longest videos I've ever created. I'm going to be and as I said, I'm going to be taking a break from Geometry Dash for a while. I'd say like a few months, or if not, maybe even a year. I'm just not feeling Geometry Dash after playing. I usually like play a game for a year, take a break from it for a year, but for Planet Zoo and Planet Coaster 2, I usually don't do that. But anyway, let's just take a second to admire and look at this beautiful habitat with this beautiful animal. As you can see, these animals actually look exactly like the flamingos. And honestly, in the Planet Zoo model, they actually exactly are, pretty much. Like the flamingo model, they look like the flamingo model so much that I don't even know, but I think they might actually be the flamingo model, but with like different colors and stuff, and maybe a bit nicer stuff. I mean, obviously it wouldn't like be exactly copied, because we would have probably tell by now. But anyway, now I'm just going to add a feeder down, and well, there we go. This habitat is officially done. And honestly, I'm going to say, it does not look bad at all, honestly. I should probably upload this to the workshop when I'm done with the actual full zoo. Next episode, we might be working for an animal, and I'm going to actually do something fun next time. I'm going to make a poll or a vote of which animal will actually be next. The picks will be the red deer, the raccoon, or the wombat. So I really hope you enjoyed this zoo slow build. Well, yeah, I was trying to make it a speed build, but it was honestly more slower than I expected. So I hope you enjoyed the slow, nice build. And well, I'll see you guys next time. Make sure to like and subscribe and hit that bell and for notifications so you don't miss another day in this series. And I really hope you enjoy. Thank you very much for watching. Goodbye, and have a good rest of your day.